Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King. I'm going to do the AFC draft analysis now. Um, take a look at the teams. Baltimore I gave a B, Buffalo I gave a B, Cincy's a C, Cleveland a C+, Denver a B, Houston A-, B+ for Indy, C for Jacksonville, B+ for Kansas City, a D for San Diego, C for Miami, an F for New England, Jets a B+, Oakland a C+, Pitt a B, and Tennessee a B. So overall, fairly good grades. Just New England had a terrible draft, but they don't even need to draft anybody. Um, and that's about it. So let's get into it. Baltimore. I'm not really going after too many names this year because there really wasn't too many good players that were really drafted. Some running backs that got drafted were good, but no quarterbacks and things like that. So Baltimore got lots of defensive help. So I gave it a B. They tend to be a defensive team like Jim Harbaugh, like Michigan. John's his brother, so they go by the same mold. So they have Flacco. They got some run, and they're just gonna play. They're gonna beat you with defense. So I think for their needs, they got a lot of defense, which will help them. So, good draft. Buffalo, Jones, wide receiver, good. And an LSU cornerback, who's always good. So I gave him a B for that. And they got the quarterback, Peterman, out of Pittsburgh, who I think will be their starter eventually within the 6-8 weeks. Very good quarterback. If you watch the games, you know he was a very good quarterback. If you don't watch the games, you don't know this. So, Teaser King knows that. So yes, Perriman. Buffalo has no quarterback, so that'll be good. Cincinnati, I gave them a C. Ross, the wide receiver, okay. Mixon from Oklahoma. Let's forget his off-field instance, but he wasn't that good at Oklahoma anyway. He's okay, but they were passing offense, so I don't get it. He had some games, but again, he's playing weak defenses. Let's watch Oklahoma play, Michigan, Ohio State, teams with better defenses, Colorado, and let's see how they do. But against the defenses they play, you can't judge that this guy's any good. And with the off-field trouble, there's a lot of better running backs. I would have taken Pumphrey from San Diego State ahead of this guy all day long. And then some defensive ends. So, okay draft. Cleveland. Garrett, gave him a C. Julius Peppers, a quitter. I am... For him to miss a bowl game at Michigan under Harbaugh is there's no excuse for that. It's a bullshit injury. It happened 2 seconds before game, so you got screwed betting the game, by the way, because you didn't know he was going to sit out. If it was against Alabama, he'd have played. So that's the problem. He's not a player. I don't buy him. Kaiser couldn't do anything at Notre Dame. What's he going to do in the pros? So again, you're not watching. If you watch the games and you watch Notre Dame, you know he was okay. Not that good. And then some defensive tackles. Who knows? So I don't get this Myles Garrett guy from Texas A&M. I don't buy him as a top draft pick. I don't know what anybody's thinking. Since when did Texas A&M have a good defense? No. He's not LSU. He's not Michigan. He wasn't Colorado. What are you doing? This guy is not the #1 pick. Terrible pick there. Denver. I gave him a B. Jake Butt gave him an A. You get a All-American tight end in the 5th or 6th round. And then the best quarterback, I think, in the draft is Chad Kelly from Ole Miss. Nephew of Jim Kelly, we all know. So that was a great pick that late. Should have been picked much higher. I think he's injured, but it's football, so who cares? You're not really looking for him for next year. They got Paxton Lynch. They're going to have two great quarterbacks in Chad Kelly and Paxton Lynch. Again, questioning why you got Lynch and then you pick up Kelly, but I don't know. Like, it's like Oakland. They have Derek Carr. They pick up Connor Cook. Like, you got your quarterback. What are you doing? Houston. I gave Houston an A-. Deshaun Watson, I think, will be a very good quarterback. Foreman at running back, I don't like. I don't like any Texas players. They have no heart, no desire, no passion for the game. That's why you have really good players and they lose every year. So I'm not drafting people out of that program. Cunningham, a B. They've got a great defense, so they needed. I think Washington was a good quarterback. Foreman at running back, I don't agree with. But because they're Houston, they took a Texas guy. That's what it is. I like the running back at Houston would have been much better for them. So it was a good draft. We'll see how Washington is. They'll probably throw him in the fire and they'll ruin him, but I think he beat Alabama. Kelly beat Alabama. That's who you go with. Indy, I gave a B+ to. Hooker, free safety from Ohio State. Give a B to Mack, the running back out of South Florida, was very good. I like that pick. Lots of defense, just what they needed. So I think they got a lot of needs. Definitely the free safety, and then getting Mack from South Florida was a great pick. He's a great running back. The one that's that I would get is the quarterback out of South Florida, Quentin Flowers. You could not tackle that guy. They'd run sort of an option where he'd fake the ball to Mack and he'd kind of roll out. I was watching one game. I had a big bet on South Florida. You couldn't tackle the guy. I mean, it was like he'd fake it, and then he'd go, and the defensive end couldn't tackle him. The linebacker couldn't, and he'd go for 60 yards like it was nothing, and his moves are unbelievable. I don't know where you put the guy. You at least have him as your punt returner. You can maybe play him at wide receiver. You can't tackle that guy. Quentin Flowers should be on a roster. If he's not, there's something wrong there. That guy is really good. Jacksonville, gave him a C. Fort Knott, gave him a C. No heart, injured all the time, or he's just crying about being injured. This is not a football player. Westbrook, gave a C. The Oklahoma wide receiver. You don't go to Oklahoma for wide receivers. They don't have very good ones. You want to get a wide receiver, you're in the right conference. You go to Oklahoma State, you go to Texas Tech, you go to Baylor, but you don't go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not a winning team. They're losers. They lose every big game. They didn't win their conference. They're not a very good team. I'm sorry, maybe they did win their conference because it was, I don't remember now. But they're not. They don't have really good players at Oklahoma, or they have terrible coaching. But they should win that conference more than they do, and they lose every big game they're in. It's telling me the players are not. They don't have the passion. So I wouldn't draft anybody out of Oklahoma. Kansas City, I gave him a B+. Patrick Mahomes. Won't do anything at Kansas City. They need the Texas Tech offense, and they're not going to run it. So he's running a West Coast offense with Andy Reid. Sorry, he's never had. Donovan McNabb was good because he could run and pass. Mahomes, they lost a lot of games at Texas Tech, so I'm not buying this pick. I don't think he's that good. Certainly, if my guy out of Western Kentucky isn't doing anything from last year, this guy's not going to do anything. Kareem Hunt, running back from Toledo, gave an A, great running back. And J.U. Chesson from Michigan gave a B+ too. Those are good picks. Mahomes, I'm not buying it. Unless you run the Texas Tech offense or that type of offense, what's he going to do? I mean, it's just not conducive to that. I mean, if Bryce Petty ain't starting for the Jets, this guy ain't going to do a thing for them. So the NFL needs to start changing to these Baylor and Texas Tech. If I'm in the NFL, I'm running the Baylor offense all day long. They score 60, 70 points a game. like it's a joke. And you got teams that can't score 20 in the NFL, and you got to wonder. Let's see that Baylor offense. Let's see, Bowling Green ran it and scored 50 a game on it. Syracuse is running it. Now they're moving up to 40 a game once they get the system in place. Tulsa runs it. They score 50 a game. Maybe it works. So, I mean, if I'm in the NFL and I got Cleveland or I got the Jets, if I'm in the Jets, I got Bryce Petty running the Baylor offense tomorrow, and I win 90% of my games. So, it's just me. It's not a fluke when 4 other teams copy it and all win with it, and nobody in the NFL wants to run it. Now, I agree you must run the ball to win in the NFL because you must rest your defense. A rested defense always wins, as I've stated. But in this case, you have no offense, so you're not resting your defense anyway. At least you'll move the ball and put points on the board. But you got to be smart. You got to throw in some runs, and you got to throw in some. You got to take clock off the game, and keep your defense rested. So the drives can't be 2 minutes. They've got to be longer drives, so the defense rests, and then you win. So you got to be smart and use some of the Baylor offense. But you got the Baylor quarterback to do it, New York Jets. So run the Baylor offense. This is why the NFL is so stupid. They score 10 points a game, half these teams, because they can't even find quarterbacks. But instead of changing to all these explosive quarterbacks, they run the offense that nobody can. It doesn't work. But they're too stupid to realize it doesn't work. I don't know. San Diego gave them a D, and no, they're not L.A., they're San Diego, and I don't care what anybody says. It's the stupidest thing to move to L.A. Nobody's going to go to the games. Nobody, San Diego's loyal. It's ridiculous. No loyalty by San Diego. They're worried about money. They're not going to get anybody to the games, because I don't know who the hell would go to see this. There's no, if the Giants move to Detroit, I'm not going to be a Giants fan. I'm not going to the Giant game. I wouldn't go to a Lion game, but I don't get that. Williams, wide receiver out of Clemson, D. 2 guards, way too early, D. San Diego. First of all, name one wide receiver out of Clemson who's ever done anything. I mean, Buffalo's got a guy, Sammy Watkins. I don't think he plays. I think he's always injured. Here's this Williams. What's he going to do? He wasn't even that good in college. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. And then you're drafting guards early. I know they have offensive line. King Dunlap's always injured, but I'm not buying San Diego drafting guards and you're going to win with that. Not really good. Miami gave them a C. Harris, defensive end from Missouri, C. Ohio State linebacker, C. He'll be okay, but Ohio State wasn't that strong this last year. Too much defense. They need offense. First of all, Miami has no quarterback. They do, and their Western Kentucky quarterback should be their quarterback, Tannehill. If you had Tannehill and I can't remember the Western Kentucky quarterback name, I apologize. If you're recruiting him in college, you're going to take the Western Kentucky guy over Tannehill. Tannehill wasn't a quarterback. So he didn't even get recruited as a quarterback. He's terrible. Miami will never win with them at quarterback. So unless you're going to have Brandon Dougherty, that's it. I knew I'd come up with it. I'd rather have Brandon Dougherty running the Western Kentucky offense, which scored 60 a game, versus what they got with Tannehill throwing 4 interceptions, and they run Jay Ajayi because they can't throw the ball. You want to win, you got to run Ajayi, but when you have Dougherty at quarterback, you're going to win. So until you see Dougherty at quarterback, Miami will do nothing. Harris, defensive end of Missouri. Missouri was nothing last year. I don't buy that. Yeah, okay, he might have a fast 40 time. Doesn't make him a defensive end. So, yeah, they drafted a lot of defense, but they got the defense isn't their problem. They have no offense. They have no quarterback. No quarterback means you're not going to score. You're not going to win. New England, what are they doing? A guy from Youngstown State and Troy. Laugh out loud in my notes. F. What the hell are they doing? First of all, New England could get both of these guys on free agency. Troy, I mean, you want to draft, I don't know what position you're even drafting. Get the guys. You want to go to Troy, go to Arkansas State. They had a much better offense than Troy if you drafted offensive players. Defensively, Troy's not a great defensive team. You want to go to, what was the other team there in the conference? Appalachian State, and you get defense. So I don't know what you're doing at Troy. Youngstown State, what are you doing there? I don't know. Put it this way, if you don't have Tom Brady, Bill Belichick doesn't win any Super Bowls. I don't know what the hell he's doing. So it's kind of winning because you have Brady despite all the bad drafting. So, and I love New England. I've made a fortune on New England. I bet against them in the Super Bowl and won because I played a teaser. So the people that hate on teasers, I had Atlanta in 9 and the over in the Super Bowl as my teaser. Anybody else that bet Atlanta lost. And if you took New England, you're down 28-3, you weren't looking too good. So that's my point about teasers. But as long as Brady's there, it doesn't matter. New England will be in the Super Bowl. The Jets, I like their draft. I gave it a B+. Strong safety from LSU, B. Strong safety from Florida, B. Wide receiver out of Alabama, no, D. Cornerback from Michigan, A. And a guy from Ole Miss I gave an A to. It was a cornerback. Very good places there. So yeah, you go to LSU. So they got 2 strong safeties and 2 cornerbacks. Or at least the cornerback from Michigan. So they'll have a great secondary next year. No, it wasn't Julio Jones or Amari Cooper for Alabama. I'm not buying that draft pick. Again, run the Baylor offense with Bryce Petty, and you'll win, Jets. That's all you need to do. Run that offense. You keep running whatever God knows offense you run at 10 points a game. How do you think you're going to win? How do you think you're going to outscore New England when they got Tom Brady and you're going to score 10 points a game? What are you thinking? So I like the defense, but start Bryce Petty and change to the Baylor offense, and you will win. Oakland, C+. Cornerback from Ohio State. Lots of defense. I like that. That's exactly what Oakland needs. They got plenty of offense. You got Amari Cooper and you got Derek Carr. I'd be trading Connor Cook to Houston or Jacksonville or a team without a quarterback. Or Chicago. I mean, I'd trade him to Chicago right now, and he can play with Jeremy Langford, and you'd have a Michigan State backfield, and then they might win some. But why you have Connor Cook, I have no idea. Because he's not going to play because of Derek Carr. You got Derek Carr, you don't need Connor Cook. Connor Cook's a very good quarterback, should be playing. Pittsburgh gave a B to Watt, J.J. Watt's brother out of Wisconsin. I gave that an A. JoJo Schuster-Smith out of USC, I gave it a C. The only good wide receiver who played for USC who made anything in the pros, played for the Steelers in the 70s, number 88, Lynn Swann. Outside of that, nobody's done anything. I mean, I'm watching and laughing at these wide receivers from USC, and they do nothing. Nothing. You watch them. They're all injured, and they don't play, and none of them do a thing. Terrible pick. Connor from Pittsburgh. That's an A. You got him, and you got whoever Pitt's running back is, who I'm not in my football mode right now, but Connor's great running back. He was a great running back at Pitt College. Give it an A. He can give a good blow to it's Laverius something or Lavelle. I don't know. The guy from Michigan State. I'm drawing a blank on their running back now, but with Connor in there and the Michigan State guy, fabulous backfield. Dobbs, offensive, or just the quarterback out of Tennessee. Yeah, I give that an F, unless they're going to make him a tight end. He's not a quarterback. Not quite sure what they're doing there. See, again, if you would watch Tennessee play all year, last 2 years, you never draft that guy. He's not. He's not a good quarterback. They're still throwing interceptions against Alabama. I mean, he can't handle Alabama. What you gonna do in the pros? I mean, so I don't get why you think this guy's gonna be good. You can't just draft a quarterback and then hope, well, he's got a good arm. He doesn't have a quarterback mentality. He's not a winner. He doesn't know how to score. He can't play in the big game against Alabama. What do you want him? He can't play against Florida. This is not what you want here. You want a good quarterback. Take the kid out of Zach Terrell out of Western Michigan. He's a winner. Everybody loves the wide receiver Davis out of Western. Who do you think threw him the ball? And he's not that good because they had a guy named Franklin in the running back, and you couldn't double team Davis. So let's get real here. Franklin is the superstar at Western Michigan, not this Davis. So let's call a spade a spade. So this is not what you want here. So Pitt I give a B to. Again, I like Watt. Connor was a great pick. Outside of that, Schuster, he'll be hurt and you'll never hear from him. Tennessee, Davis, wide receiver out of Western, I give a B to. He's not Antonio Brown, his ain't Central Michigan. Taylor, Western Kentucky wide receiver, I gave him an A to. They know how to catch at Western Kentucky. They run a great offense. That's where you go for wide receivers. That's a great pick. So Tennessee, Mariota, average quarterback. You got Davis and Taylor will help them. And then they got DeMarco Murray, a running back. I got one there at running back. So look for Tennessee to maybe be more of an over team with this offense. They should throw the ball around more. Mariota hopefully will cut down on his interceptions. But basically what you're dealing with in Tennessee, they're getting better. Mariota won't kill him, but he's an average. Again, he's coming from the Oregon offense, which nobody runs in the NFL. So, I give him a B. I think Davis will be okay. He's not Antonio Brown, and don't expect him to be. Le'Veon Bell, the Pittsburgh running back. So Connor will be able to help Le'Veon Bell, and I think that 1-2 punch will be unbelievable. That's how you win games, right? You're going to run it down their throats. And then in the fourth quarter, their defense will be rested. So look for Pittsburgh to win more games this year because of Connor at running back blowing Le'Veon Bell. So Tennessee will be a little better. They were a little better last year. So this is what you got with the stats, right? Here's Tennessee, decent draft. These two wide receivers will play a lot. So they had no wide receivers anyway. So now they have some. And I think they have a kid out of Baylor or TCU, so that'll also help them. And that's what you have there. So I gave them a B. I think they'll be improved. And this is what you do. You watch them the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then you get your betting pattern on them because right now they're starting to get better. So here's where Tennessee could be a very live dog this year, like Oakland was last year. Oakland was a very live dog and was great against the number last year because now the public hasn't caught on to Tennessee yet, right? All the money's on New England, all the money's on Green Bay, all the money's on Dallas, and here comes Tennessee, and none of the money, and they're dogs in half the games. They shouldn't be. Let's look at week 1, Tennessee. Tennessee is... Okay, they're playing Oakland at home, and the spread's even. Now right there, they probably should be favored by 3 there. But everybody doesn't know who Tennessee is. Oakland they know, and with Carr and Amari Cooper and their defense, and their weak defense, which hopefully got better with their rookies. So Tennessee might be the better team there with the improvements. But how quickly the wide receivers catch on is another story. But the fact of the matter is, that's what you're looking for is Tennessee's a sleeper. That spread should be Tennessee -3. So you watch Tennessee the first few weeks. Be careful, don't bet against them. Let's see what happens. But their offense should be improved. And I believe their defense was good. So that's what you're looking for. Who got helped in the draft that's going to help? Cleveland, we're betting against Cleveland and Jacksonville all the time. My trends against Cleveland and Jacksonville are like 88%. If you bet against them, you win. And I don't see that changing. Jacksonville, Bortles is not your answer. I said that 2 years ago when he was drafted. I said it last year. I think they have a better quarterback on their team. Let me look. I do a thing where I take their wide receivers, running backs, and wide receivers. So I got flavor if they got balance. Sorry, my light's a little bit low. So let me look at Jacksonville. Bortles, Chad Henne. No, they don't have quarterbacks there. So Bortles is not going to get it done. Too many interceptions. They don't really have much of an offense. I know they're going to, with the new coach, they're going to want to run the ball and play defense because that's what he does. But, you know, who are you going to run it with? Fournette? I guarantee you he won't play half the games because he'll be injured. He'll get injured in the preseason. You won't hear from him for 5 or 6 weeks. He'll come back. Is Fournette playing? Is he? And he's not really going to be any good because he was great at LSU the first year, and then he stopped playing. And that's my point. He's not a football player. He doesn't care. He has no heart. He's more worried about money and getting injured than saying, screw it, I'm injured. I'm going to play because I love football. And you want the I love football players on your team, a.k.a. Seattle, a.k.a. Tom Brady. They want to play. They want to win. They hate to lose. That's what you look for. You look for it in college. Those are the players you draft, and that's how you win. I don't like to lose. Vince Lombardi, Chuck Noll, all the way down, Bill Parcells, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. They hated to lose. They were winners. When you find that, that's what you got. And I see Chad Kelly has that. I see Deshaun Watson from Clemson has that. But very few, that's why I'm saying Carson Wentz, who knows. Jared Goff doesn't have that at all. I think Paxton Lynch has it because he went into Ole Miss and beat them. And I'm sure Brandon Dougherty has that from Western Kentucky. If you watch the game, Zach Terrell has it. They go undefeated. It's not a fluke. So when you have these teams and you see these quarterbacks who hate to lose, that's who you go after. And it could be their secondary. It could be their linebackers. I mean, you watch UCLA and the guy, doesn't want to lose. That's who you draft. And these guys at USC are pampered. The guys at Oklahoma are pampered. They don't care if they lose. They're pampered. They want the paycheck. So that's not who you draft. That's why I get against Texas. They don't care if they win or lose, obviously, because they lose every year with the most talent. So, they're recruiting, but their coach is terrible, and they don't have the passion to win. They don't care if they lose. Those are never players to draft because they're never going to help your team. You need the player that wants to win, that has the passion. And that's why I said Fontenot won't do anything, doesn't have the passion. McCaffrey or Peppers, because they didn't play in their bowl games, and they should care. It's their last game of their career with their team, and they don't care. They don't want to get injured. Okay, where's the passion there? It's not there. You just wasted a draft pick with those guys. So that's the reality of it. When you start worrying about money and injury, you're not a football player. You're not playing on my team. You're not a winner. So, Teaser King being Teaser King. I hate to lose. So you figure that out. But if I have a losing pick, I triple analyze why the hell it lost. And then it better be Tom Brady throwing 5 interceptions is why I lost. And then I think the game's fixed. So, anyway, good luck to everybody. www.teaserking.com. I'll have the new prices out in a week or so. Probably be $100 for pro, $75 college. I think $135 for both for the week. It was $150. Locks should probably stay at $77, and then I'll just probably keep the same monthly. And yearly packages that I've been doing. I might lower my yearly just a little bit, um, but I'm basically just multiplying it by 20 weeks. If that's what you have. Again, I was 12-0 in the playoffs, and again I was 154 and 54 in the pros, 81% there. So again, am I picking the games? So I don't like to lose, and when I lose, I triple analyze why I lost, and I go from there. All right, everybody, I'm talked out. www.teaserking.com, and August will be right around the corner, and let's hammer them again. All right, everybody, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great summer.